maybe I could fix him.
Oh no!
Greetings, shield companies. This is me, on my brief respite from the throne room.
Hi.
Currently in the process of calculating the integrity of the blood pumps, and I thought it would be as good a time as any, excepting all other times ever, to record a list of my top favorite Primarchs, yeah.
Okay, interesting. I suspect this is likely an in-between episode between like the amount of editing and work that needs to go into every single one. Maybe release some content here and there. We've had a few examples of that before, so. But I am curious to see what this list is. I would suspect that Lorgar is likely going to be on the bottom, if not Horus.
That's good. From worst to greatest. Now, please, I know you and the emissaries might try and quote-unquote fact-check me into one of the dark cells, but please, you keep your judgment as you do your figure concealed. This is not my opinion, Churl. I do not tout it as our Emperor's objective truth. As correct as it in fact is. So, here we go. Number 20, skip. Number 19, skip. Number 18, Conrad Curse.
Conrad?
Night Haunter. Unwashed, toxic, ghoulish.
I mean, fair enough.
Scrawny for a Primarch, and
but also, the two ones that we skipped were the legions that we don't talk about, right? The ones erased from history. I think there's barely any lore about them.
no! Ew! Absolute ew! Scrawny and Primarch
Don't go together,
words
no.
that should be kept as far and away as a novel series worth of text from each other at all times. Much less be used within the very same sentence. And yet Conrad curses this reality by making this description apt. Hate. As far as I've heard, he was also killed by a normal, which... That's like a normal dying to worms. It could certainly occur.
I mean, he's not even wrong with that comparison, considering, like, where the Primarchs are placed within the hierarchy.
But it is so earth-shatteringly embarrassing, it can simply not be spoken of. That being said, I am glad he is dead, for he was a spiteful bastard who would probably have my eyes turned to soup if ever he heard this. Number 17. So, I am someone who puts high stock in hygiene.
That has been made clear.
One of my greatest charges as caretaker. I am the one who has to make sure that our Emperor, stasis bound as he is
every nook and cranny of him must be clean.
Without corruption, within and without. So with this in mind, the very idea of Mortarion causes me great
Isn't Mortarion the one who fell to Nurgle? Pretty sure, let me search it up. Mortarion, also known as the Death Lord, the Pale King, or the Reaper of Men, was one of the original 20 Primarchs. He was given command of the Death Guard Legion on the arrival of the Emperor to his world of Barbaros, but turned to the forces of chaos during the Horus Heresy. Your planet is called Barbaros? But yeah, it's who I was thinking it was. Very stinky man.
If our Emperor was ever to have Mortarion return to Terra, which I pray does not happen, I will fight to have him pressure washed with Titan-grade cleaning agents and burning promethium before even being allowed in the system. Every night, I hug my sponge collection in sheer dread.
You have a sponge collection?
This return could
hopefully not used.
Reality. Number 16, Perturabo. Yes, I am aware. Casting Perturabo in the ditch and shitting on him is exactly what everyone, including his entire family, has done since the beginning of time.
Oh, man.
He's not exactly a popular pick. In fact, if every other Primarch are the picks of the litter, he'd probably be the litter.
What? What does that even mean? Okay, and double checking. Perturabo is the Primarch of the Iron Warriors. Gotcha. Oh, that's right. Rogel Dorn will dislike this guy very much because of the battle that they had between each other, with the Imperial Fist trying to break into the Iron Cage, as it were. Which was the joke that we had during the Wolfrup session in the previous special episode.
As in, litter as in trash, he's garbage. And that is exactly the reason behind me putting him this low on the list. And yes, indeed, everyone treats him like garbage, but he also acts like garbage. So
what does he do usually? Yeah,
there
totally.
Is some kind of a causality dilemma here, though. Like, is he treated like garbage because he is garbage? Or is he garbage because he is treated like garbage?
Oh my god, these dilemmas, man. Nature versus nurture. We'll continue to debate this till the end of time.
Is he the chicken or the egg? Some sort of really bitter, like childishly bitter chicken egg hybrid?
Yeah,
thing.
I choose to believe in that. That makes sense.
I don't know, but garbage is garbage, and I'd prefer it thrown in the compactor. Number 15, Alfarius Omegon. I know some enjoy the mysterious type, but honestly...
The mysterious type?
Bit too much, this one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Whatever. I'm not much for charging
everybody's
into the fray
Alfarion.
without thought. I wish to assess my targets before engaging as much as any of the 10,000. Know where I have them, my targets. With this context in mind, Alfarius and or Omegon, even speaking to them is like... I was going to say laying oneself bare. That is mildly funny. Basically, it'd be too vague as to whether or not he'd enjoy your presence.
I mean, would you even know if you're speaking to him?
Evaluating your skin in case he needs it. Not a fan. Number
Fair
14.
Enough. Me neither.
Corvus Corax.
No, Corvus.
Right. So yeah, I am aware. Placing a loyalist Primarch this high or low on the list is quite controversial, and you may call me traitorous for reasons intentionally designed to be impossible to argue against, but look, fuck you! I do not condone the actions or personages of any traitor Primarch that comes after this one. I am just judging these Primarchs by my tastes. Okay, so yeah, Corvus Corax. I'm sorry, it's like Conrad Curse, but better. Which sucks,
I guess.
Because Conrad Curse is the worst, and it is quite hard to build oneself a ladder out of the abyssal shadow cast by the Spite Haunter.
Bro, but like, he's our edgy boy. Seeing him and his adventures with Vulcan makes it so I can't really hate the guy. In fact, I find his little poems that he makes really funny. But hey, to each their own.
Corax is alive, however, and heading towards Terra right now.
Yes, he is.
To him I say, there is still time to build that ladder. And by build that ladder, I mean building that build. And please, get a less slimy looking haircut.
Honestly, fair enough.
Are that of the sewer.
Yeah.
Number 13.
He does smell of ammonia too.
Lehman Russ. I know. He's popular. He's
the wolf guy.
Especially with those giddy for rustic brutality. And I will give him his due credit. He is built
Yosh.
He's a woven wonder when engaged up close. But there's just so much hair. So much hair. It's everywhere. One can
Well, man is part wolf. What can you do? That's just how it goes. And I think on our home planet, you'd probably want more hair than not, considering how cold it is, I would assume. But honestly, placing him down here does make sense for, I believe this is Wamudi's, because all of the custodians here, they're very hairless. They probably wax off all the hair on their body so that they can show their bulging muscles more. So yeah, I get it.
can barely get a glimpse of that physique. It sits like a fir tree plantation. I don't want to have to check my tactical display to know my location when in this man's immediate vicinity. I'm sorry. I will consider bumping him up if he just consider attaining a brush cutter. I want to eat, not floss. Number 12.
Dude, this would be the perfect time for a particular sponsor that I'm thinking of. I'm not gonna say it, but some of you guys might know.
12. Magnus. The Red. Preemptive apologies goes out to my shield brother, who's a total Magnusite, but Magnus is what we in the business call a humongous nerd. Okay, so, to be entirely
Just the
fair,
way he said
Magnus
that.
has some nice sides. He is steadfast in his beliefs. He seems to always be trying his best, and not only is he quite bulbous, but said bulbousness is entirely accommodating due to his valuable presence in the material. All extremely interesting, and I would not blame anyone for buying into those selling points. I'm just not too into self-pity and self-pity and
self-pity.
Books?
Books?
We don't match, that's all I'm trying to say.
Wait, okay. Does Wamudi's... I think Wamudi's knows how to read, right? It's the other guy that doesn't know how to. Was that Karstodies? It is pretty funny, though, that, like, we hate on the normals, but we also hate the nerds, so, like, what are we?
Number 11. Vulcan.
What? Vulcan is awesome, dude! Oh, Wamudi's. Man, you're going down my list. I want to boop the snoot. I love Vulcan, man. Well, Vulcan and TTS anyways, but actual lore Vulcan sounds like an awesome guy. And from what I know of the legions, I would probably pick Salamanders, if not Grey Knights. I'm kind of hovering between the two, as like my personal favorite.
Everyone loves Vulcan.
Yes.
His
Why wouldn't they?
It's like an endless ocean. His
just wants to
moral
boop the
character
snoot.
is his all. But listen,
Why is he all the way down here, huh?
I am a custodian.
Yeah?
I am a tool. And I don't know about you, but I am perfectly aware of and accepting of that.
Okay, yeah,
With
sure,
this,
dude.
I do not believe I have the obligation, nor perhaps even the ability, to have the same level of empathy for the common folk of the Imperium as the likes of Vulcan.
I don't like him
do
because
not
I can't like other
care for the
people as much as him.
The citizenry of the Imperium. It is not my job to care. And so it is, I do not care for Vulcan. For we have nothing in common.
Okay.
Also,
Look.
his armor is green, and that's like my least favorite color. Number 10!
I mean, I can't say that green is my favorite color, but it does look really cool, and it's very fitting for the salamanders, and thank goodness they changed the color scheme on that. I recall we talked about the salamanders before in a TTS episode, and their old color scheme was yuck.
Horus?
Why is Horus all the way up here?
So you might be surprised that the great betrayer, the one responsible for the Emperor's entombment, the one who razed our Imperium to the ground and lit a slowly spreading fire in its place, got so high on the list. And yes, that is quite inappropriate.
Very.
But have you seen how fucking massive he is? Number 9. Lorgar.
Yeah, that's it. Lorgar!
Okay, so
Well, I mean, we haven't seen Lorgar up until now, so it was bound to be up high on his list, but still, man. Me and my homies, we hate Lorgar. From my understanding, it was Lorgar and, gosh darn it, I forgot the name of the other guy, who were kind of the initial spark for the Horus heresy. Like, Horus was the one who did the deed, but this man started it all, so yeah, screw you.
you might be surprised that the first heretic, the apostle of primordial evil, the vile snake that helped plant the seeds of the Imperium's downfall, made it so high on the list.
But is he huge?
And in addition, he's both extremely small and weak.
Yeah, never mind.
Primarch. He's very preachy, he's condescending.
So what do you like about him?
Issues and, why is he so high on this list?
Good question. That's what I'm asking.
Actually, I'm sorry. This is a mistake. My apologies. Lorgar is number 20, actually. I accidentally traded place between Primarch 14 and 19. The latter of which is significantly more respectable and substantially sized. Sorry. Huge mistake.
I see.
Just like Lorgar.
Oh,
Number
damn!
8, Angron.
Oh, Angron. Man. I feel so bad for the guy. If only things had turned out differently. It was Angron, right, who felt a little too much emotion, a little too much empathy for others. Then I think he got nails, like, permanently stuck into his skull or something.
He is quite violent.
Yeah.
In an extremely over-the-top manner. It's not something I would usually go for, no. Honestly, it perturbs me slightly, and being in his
list is very
presence
interesting.
would more than likely drive me to drink.
Blood.
Promethium, that is.
Promethium, yeah.
But somewhere deep within, I feel like I can, at times, relate to Angron. And I feel like...
I think all of us, at certain points in our lives, can somewhat relate to a portion of Angron's anger and frustration, especially if you're playing League of Legends.
Maybe I could fix him.
Oh no, that's not where I thought this was going! Wamudi's, why? If only... Yeah, don't worry, you can fix him. Just, I don't know, treat him nicely, get into a serious relationship, and once you get married, it'll fix him. Once you have a kid, it'll fix him. Oh, man.
His power and his temper could be honed like an axe upon a grindstone, and
That's very optimistic of you.
Could be me.
You want to be the grindstone?
Like beneath that rugged, bloodied exterior, there is untapped potential as a very effective masseur.
Oh.
Number 7.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Fulgrim.
Fulgrim.
Justifying putting Fulgrim this high
He's
is
traitor. Slanesh.
hard because he is definitely not my type in most regards.
Definitely
He's
not.
quite thin and petite, Primarch way.
Petite?
He's all about sharp angles and sleek forms, long and straight, all pomp and no substance. It's just not my thing. But, just like how I am not necessarily a great bulging fan of a certain art form, does not mean I cannot truly, deeply appreciate a perfectly crafted piece of art within that certain art form.
I mean, you know, that kind of makes sense. It's not like you have to know everything about something in order to feel some type of way about it, feel the emotions conveyed through it. Of course, if you knew more, you'd be able to appreciate it much more, but yeah. It's like my love of game OSTs. I'm not musically inclined, but I freaking love those songs.
That's my justification, and it's not perfect. It will have to do. Number 6, Jagatai Khan.
Jagatai Khan is pretty high up.
Rugged and brutal, much like Lehman Russ. But he is, well, he's not super hairy. And
that's it.
If I was a die-hard mustache man, then
true.
In mustache land, and the Khan would be my slayer.
Oh my.
Furthermore, he stands by his code of honor in a way unlike most other Primarchs. I find that knowing who you are, knowing what you are, knowing your beliefs and standing by them is an exceptionally ravishing thing. And that
honestly,
is why I
not wrong.
This opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Number 5, Sanguinius. What? What? I hear you stab these words into my eardrums. Fucker, how dare you not put the great angel at the top of your list? I will have you converted into nutrient-based bastard. Okay, please.
Sanguinius died for us all.
I could not in good confidence put Sanguinius any higher on this list because, put simply, he is out of my league. He is out of everyone's league. I mean,
yeah,
sure,
actually, yeah.
The Primarchs are mostly out of our league.
Primarchs are, yeah.
Sanguinius,
he's like a step above everybody else.
It's different. He is the succulent, forbidden fruit hanging in the garden of gilded perfection that the Emperor himself has prohibited you from ever as much as glimpsing at.
Yup.
That is honestly too much for me. Sanguinius might be iridescent in his splendor, but the constant threat of being unmade with even a thought of doing absolutely nothing at all to him, not a thing.
Sure, Melodies.
I'm sorry, I can't deal with that. Moving on. Number 4, Ferrus Manus. Manus is strong.
Very
steadfast. Sure, he might not be the most corporeally inviting of the Primarchs, but the rigidness of his ideals to improve humanity makes
solid,
him, in my mind,
like steel,
so disgustingly handsome. yeah, handsome.
Yeah.
Hands, because iron hands.
Hey,
Speaking
yeah,
of his
nice
actual,
one.
literal iron hands, love that for him. That gives him an edge above all other Primarchs, as far as I'm concerned, if stripped to bare essentials.
Oh my.
18 Primarchs in the showers on Terra. Ferrus Manus is choking the shit out of them. Oh, good. Okay, number 3.
Okay.
Lion
Don't need that image in my head.
The lion, as a concept and as an aesthetic, resonate with me far, far more than the lion does as a person. But these things, the aesthetic, the concept, they resonate with me so incredibly hard, they make my gullet vibrate.
Oh my god. Okay, 1 second. Wait. Lion L. Johnson. The Primarch of the Dark Angels. So many names, it's hard to keep track of who's who.
Valorous, like someone out of an ancient tale. His being, or the idea of this being, exudes chivalry, and it makes me wish to rip apart the chainmail I desperately wish I was clad in.
Calm down.
Existed, I wish I could have gone there. On a journey
Caliban is
alongside the lion, 2 steeds, and a Normalite bard in tow, whom we could torment for his inadequacies. Number 2, Rogel Dawn.
Yay!
So this is
The door.
Slight bit awkward.
A little bit,
I've
yeah.
had the pleasure of hanging out with Dorn for a good while now.
Imagine saying this, like, unironically. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with the Primarch, Rogel Dorn. Not many people in the universe can say that.
He's been present in the palace, ever guarding his father's remains, much like the rest of us. And yes, he is quite forthright.
Yep, very.
To the point
It's one
where
way
he
to
could
describe
just as
him.
well stab you to death on a whim if he honestly thought you were a flaw in the structural integrity of the palace.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that was a joke, but honestly, he might. If you have nothing to do with fortifying this position, then you're gone.
But that is also what I adore about him.
Yes,
He knows
you get it.
when he is right. He knows when he is wrong, and he will stand by the truth
Yup,
no matter where it may lead.
what a guy.
He is a fortress that cannot be beset. And I would love to find a life within that
Oh my
fortress.
god, of course.
Okay, number one.
Well, I mean, the only one we haven't mentioned is Gilliman, right?
Rubuzi Gilliman. Okay,
Yup.
first of all, fuck you! I know how the sayings go. I know the jokes. I know the everlasting
jokes.
bandwagon that is ridiculing Rubuzi Gilliman and his children. I know it all. I've heard it all. It is a common thing within our ranks. But I am better than that.
Wow,
I am immune to your lampooning.
what a guy.
I see Gilliman for what he truly is.
Well, Moody's is just built
A
different.
man with a godlike jawline. And a beautiful boy who wishes to do his best by our Imperium. He is honorable. He is just.
I
He
guess.
is noble. And he is self-aware. Which is exactly what you wish to imply he is not. I know better. I know he is what the Imperium needs. And when he returns, and he will,
I think he did.
I am going to be a proponent of His Majesty, as he once more becomes the Lord Commander of the Imperium, and aids our Emperor in turning this morass of incompetence back into a tidier morass that is not on fire.
Slightly better. Yeah.
And that is it for my favorite Primarchs. If you have your own personal favorites list, then please do not mention it in the vicinity of our Emperor unless you wish to be pounded into the ground in the worst possible manner. Okay, that's it. Bye!
Oh my god. That was so silly. I'd also make my own list, but I also feel like I don't know enough about each single Primarch to really have a good grasp on them. But Vulcan and Rogel Dorn are definitely super high up there on my list.